Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us right here on Rapid Dawn. It's the morning tonic you ingest once every 24 hours, Monday to Friday. We're super excited to be on your plastic television screen. Cynthia would not agree with me, but anyways, it's good to have you join us this morning. How big are your dreams? How big are your aspirations for the new week? But guess what? No matter how big they are, no matter how unattainable they may look, you're quite capable. I believe in you, and what a way to start this morning with you. Gochuku Madumere is my name, and I would love to introduce to you my usual co-anchor, my usual co-host, very dependable, yeah, most of the time.
Is there any particular reason why I'm being addressed as my usual co-host?
Because you're the usual co-host. Yes.
You don't see me finish.
I'm stuck with you.
You don't see me finish.
Whether I like it or not.
Anyway, a very special morning to you. A lot of things have happened during the course of the weekend. Exciting moments, pleasant moments, from people who are gaining new fans to those who are, you know, expressing themselves in different ways, to crazy things happening. Trust me, we're going to bring you all of that, update you with some of the things that you missed during the weekend. And it's a Monday, it's Motivational Monday. So we'll try as much as possible, you know, to keep your mind positive as you start the week. Cynthia Agbo is my name. And it is going to be an exciting time. What are we going to start with this morning? It is important for us to start with your health, because trust me, health is wealth. And I do not subscribe to going out, you know, in the day without taking care of your health, or without checking one or two things about your health. You may not have some of the usual equipment, you know, to check maybe your blood pressure or this or that, but that is why we're here, you know, to update you on something relating to your health. And this morning, we will be okay. So for health and wellness this morning, we have something interesting. Don't worry, it's not what you're thinking.
I'm not thinking anything.
No, you're not thinking anything?
Nah.
It will shock you. Anyway, this morning, we realized that we haven't done something relating to your nails. So we have something, your nails, and what your nails can tell you about your health. I'm sure you're interested to know what it is. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It's still Rapid Dawn right here. And of course, you definitely enjoyed that part, because I did. I mean, I did. So I'm sure you did enjoy it too.
The melanin was popping. It's really popping. Loved it. And I picked out one or two that I believe would look great on you. Yeah. By the way, what's with the...
We are listening.
What's with the green... The land is green.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm applauding your fashionable prowess.
Okay, so we were jejely minding our business.
That's not a nice way to receive a compliment. Well, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. So we were jejely, you know, enjoying the weekend when our attention was drawn to a particular supermarket here in the FCT, and it was said that Nigerians are not allowed to shop at the supermarket. Mind you, this is a Chinese supermarket filled with lots of Chinese products. Basically, the payment is Chinese payments. Everything is in Chinese. So definitely, one would think if you even go there, how would you even be able to know what you want to buy? But then they have varieties. Because I remember when Nena did a video about them last year, you know, that led to a lot of people going to the supermarket. But now the clause came in when they said Nigerians are not allowed to shop. Mind you, we also have Nigerians that walk right there. So in this first video we're going to play for you, the first video tells you about the guy who first of all started complaining that, oh, Nigerians are not allowed because he wanted to buy a couple of things, which ordinarily you know there's a supermarket here and then you're not allowed to go. So let's check out the first video where he complained, and then we'll have the second video when some persons had to go there to really verify, to be sure that what he said was actually true. So let's have the first one.
Wonders shall never end. There's this supermarket I saw online. It's a Chinese supermarket. They have like Chinese stuff inside, food, ramen, and other things. So I wanted to go there and check it out. And on going there, they told me at the gate, the security people told me the supermarket is strictly for Chinese people. If you are a Nigerian, you cannot go inside. You cannot buy anything. This supermarket is here in Abuja, in Nigeria, and a Nigerian cannot enter. This is a joke. So that means the Chinese guy has more rights than you here in Nigeria, because he can enter anywhere he wants, everywhere. There's no place that he cannot enter. But you, there's a market you cannot enter. It shocked me. I recorded a video, but because it was by the road, there was so much noise, so I had to do this other video. Let me show you the place. You see, that's the gate, and that's the supermarket. Wahala. So I'm going back to our local supermarkets because they say I cannot enter. Here in Abuja, me a Nigerian, I cannot enter a place.
Everything notice, they get any approval from government, they get anything there, make them bring that decision.
That's what they know since January.
But before January, people they enter. Before January,
Last Nigerians they come inside before.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. My name is ASG. Currently, we are at the Chinese Chamber, Airport Road, Abuja. So we can hire my friend. We are up to 3 or 4 here. So we are not allowed to enter the Chinese supermarket. So it's not a joke, it's not a lie. We're there Abuja right now, we did the place now. Show the environment.
That's the place, that's the building.
That's
So
the
apparently,
building there.
yeah, we've been one try enter the place, maybe we know how far. But we have that now, our Nigerian people. Now then they sell, baby. They are the ones selling in there. So if we go there, they might lose their job. I was thinking we should just go and try to sell for us or not. But the security have explained things to us, and I think it's going to be wise. I don't want our people that are there working. They say even if they sell for us now, to backfire on them. I mean, that's what they said. That's what they said. So we will not go inside the. We don't want to force ourselves inside the supermarket, so it will not cause issues. So for now, we just confirm that, okay, you cannot go in as a Nigerian. Okay, they said that it's from January.
Okay, so this is, in as much as one might want to argue that, oh, it's their business, they have a right. But I do remember that people were being allowed before, but it was not even in large numbers, basically. Even the whole last year thing that was being said of Nigerians being able to enter, it wasn't really in large numbers. It was more like if you're in group, you probably may not be allowed to enter, but if you come, and then they were selective of the kind of persons that could come in. So the whole Nigerians were allowed to enter before is not exactly as they painted to look. They have to look at you, they weigh you first of all before you're able to enter as a Nigerian. If you come in, because to them, their excuse probably would be for security reasons and the likes, but if you were coming, maybe you come with a group of friends and you were not going to enter. But if you come alone, maybe you come alone with maybe your PA or your security or somebody, yeah, you just be allowed to enter. But then again, this particular supermarket is not just located anywhere else in public. It is located at the Chinese chamber. So it's basically there to cater for the needs and desires of the Chinese people. And I think in that particular place, they have only one Nigerian who actually lives there. Only one Nigerian. Every other person there are all Chinese. So one might want to say, well, you that want to go there, how you want to read them? But there's still people who want to, I know people that want to have, you know, Chinese meals and they're wondering where can they buy some of these items from, this ingredient. So it's going to be terrible where the only place you know cannot allow you in. Now, the first question I want to ask is, can this even happen in China? I bet you it can't happen in China. So the big question now is, why is it being allowed to happen in Nigeria? Because there is no way this can happen. Say a Nigerian there's a Nigerian supermarket somewhere in China, and only Nigerians are allowed to enter. Every other person can't and can go there to shop. It cannot happen.
It begins to raise a lot of questions that, I mean, we need to start asking. First, the management of the supermarket. Questions regarding, what's even your policy regarding customers or people who patronize you? Do you have certain rules and regulations that center on the kind of people that you allow into your supermarket? Is there a criteria that must be met, as it were, before somebody
be a Chinese person? That's all, basically.
In your supermarket. I do not think there's anything wrong with having a set of policies guiding your business place. But when those policies begin to now look as if you are discriminating or segregating a certain group of people, and in this case, you are a foreigner in our land. So, I mean, it doesn't really make sense. So first, when I saw the story, it was unbelievable, for me. But when you now look at the comments of certain people, some of our people have been there and then they've been turned back. Now, some people have also gone. There were 1 or 2 comments about, this is not true, that they've gone there, they were allowed access, they were able to buy a couple of products. So questions even regarding, what do you people sell there?
What they sell is
what kind of products?
Chinese products, food items and the rest. But everything is all in Chinese, and even down to your receipts. Because I
could it be that those products are products that you need to come with a prescription or something?
No, it's just like the ramen and some other things. So for example, if you're a person that loves Chinese delicacies, and you can't just go to Wuse Market to buy those things now. You need to, it's just like when you want to have Indian cuisine, for example, you want to make Indian cuisine, you need to go to a place where you can get the ingredients. Basically, that's the way it is. So the supermarket caters for these people, this set of people that want to, and in this case, an average Nigerian doesn't just stay and want to have a Chinese.
Go and spend your money for something that you do not need.
Exactly. So the supermarket is meant to cater, and looking at the location where it is, it's meant to cater for this set of people. But the thing now is, it is not supposed to be restricted. Like I always say, these are things that are meant to be, the people themselves, okay, we don't need this, we're not going there to buy anything, but just in case we want to try out something new, we should be allowed to enter. Those people who are saying it's not true, they were allowed to enter, ask them how were they allowed to enter. Because one of the things that happened when they had an influencer who did a video for them and, had lots of videos, go there, talk about the place. What happened was lots of people started going there, and people were just going there, taking pictures and the likes. And that's one of the reasons that formed their decision to say, okay, no, we're not going to allow this people, because if you're not going to come here to shop peacefully and leave, then you shouldn't come in here. Because if you only come here to come and take pictures, you're in the supermarket, but you're not actually shopping, which a couple of people actually do sometimes. They go to some...
And it is not peculiar to Chinese restaurants.
They go to some restaurants, they go to...
It definitely appears alien, to a foreigner, that you would step into a supermarket or a mall just to take pictures.
Take picture, maybe pick one item, take picture, do videos and like...
So it's beginning to make sense, little actually. why, if this is actually true, why they would make a decision
Even
like
at that. No, even at that. It doesn't, it still doesn't make sense.
It's now a question of how are you going about it? How are you I mean, there are places that I've gone to and they tell you, you're not allowed to take pictures. It's part of the policy, you know. So it could be better managed in terms of, okay, you come to the supermarket, the receptionist, the cashier, or whoever it is, or the security guy tells you, okay, this are the rules. There are supermarkets that you cannot enter with your bag. You have to drop your bag at the door and get a tag or something to that effect. So let them have a set of rules.
So if I don't go in my bag, how will I get my money to pay?
Or policies in place, like a big bag.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course, of course.
So let them have a set of guidelines for their potential customers, because if this is not properly managed, it could escalate into something even more serious. And I wouldn't know if the attention of the authorities, the Consumer Protection Council, has been drawn to this particular issue. It would be nice for them to step in, probably have a conversation with the management of the place, find out if what Nigerians are complaining about is true, and then find a way to nip it in the bud now that, I mean, it's still
Is not a matter of whether it is true or not true. These people cannot, when the story started off Saturday and Sunday, people had to go there, you know, to really be sure that, you know, Nigerians, we are...
But then again, you bring your business to a foreign country.
Exactly.
Did you bring it for fancy or what? Is it not there?
They brought it for the Chinese people.
So people can appreciate what you guys grow in your nation, what you guys produce. Is that not the main purpose of bringing things like that?
It's not even about whether we appreciate what you're growing or not appreciate what you're growing. The big question for me is, would the Chinese people allow something like this from a Nigerian to happen in China?
I think we know the answer to that.
That's the main thing. That's the only question I'm asking. If you know that your policy is not going to tolerate this, then you shouldn't bring it to our country. That's just what it is. Except you're trying to make us feel like, oh, what are you going to do about it?
Basically trying to make us feel like second-class human beings. And
we do hope that while the conversation is on different platforms, probably the relevant agencies will do something about it. It is 6 minutes to 8 o'clock, time for sports. Enough time for me to frustrate Ugochukwu.
Just one time that Man U managed.
No. The conversation is not about whether Man U managed. It's about who did not even make it.
In fact,
Chelsea Alpha.
Coventry was robbed. If we're going to be really honest, you guys played a lower division side.
Ugo.
It took Man U 120 minutes.
Ugo.
And the gamble and lottery of penalties.
Please focus?
To which it could have gone either side. And I mean, it even took the theatrics of the VAR and the referee to help Man U, the whole Man U.
Okay, was Chelsea even helped?
Man U should be ashamed of themselves.
Was Chelsea even helped?
Chelsea played champions of England and defending champions of a competition. So, I mean, but you cannot even, if not for Nicholas Jackson, you and I will not be having this conversation right now.
You go talk, explain, no evidence.
And it's not to qualify.
No evidence.
It's not to qualify for final. You go win.
It's not see.
You go
we are not talking about whether we win or not. What we are saying is who made it.
You go win. It's not.
Who made it?
It's not to get to the final that is the problem. Will you win? The last time it was the same matchup in the final. Man City, Man U.
Ugo, last week.
The Man U win.
Ugo, last week.
Can you even win?
Ugo.
Do you have the hope of winning?
Listen.
What tells you that you have any chance at all of beating Man City in the final? Nothing. Zero chance. Zero.
Why are you talking blah, 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 blah,
Even
blah,
your
blah.
coach went to not tie and wear suits because of Coventry City. You are wearing tie, playing Coventry.
you, oh.
See, ba.
He pay you. I don't know if we have that song.
No matter.
He pay me, oh. He pay me, oh.
Why should I be paying?
The way this thing is paying you.
Why should I be paying?
I saw Ugo was so frustrated that evening.
Why should I be paying?
Ugo was typing, oh, Chelsea, don't do this to me.
There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun.
Ugo, would you have been saying this?
And by the way, I'm not even a Chelsea fan. I'm just analyzing, the events of the weekend. I have no affiliations with the said football club.
But you're on blue. It's solidarity to Chelsea.
This is no. It's not in solidarity to any association.
Oh my
it's not
God.
in solidarity to any football club.
Oh my
This is my
God.
favorite. This is a Monday color.
Oh my God.
Monday color. So I mean, don't get it twisted.
Men are what?
Don't get it twisted.
This is how Son of Man would deny you.
Don't get it twisted. I support good football any day, anytime.
Oh my God.
And in fact, the demands of my job does not require that I am partisan. You get so there's absolutely nothing partial here. This is not me parrying to a particular side. This is not me parrying to a particular
let me
football
speak
club.
now.
Why? Well, you were the one that brought it up.
Speak now.
You are the one that brought it up. And to rub it in my face that mind you beat Coventry that plays in the lower division after 120 minutes and penalty. You needed luck. You needed the grace of God to help you.
Okay, so let me switch off your buttons. Off now. Off.
All these Man U people, I don't even know.
Do you want coffee? Breathe. Breathe.
All these Man U people, we need to ban them from being on the set of breakfast shows.
Breathe. Just breathe.
I'm okay.
Breathe. Take a deep breath. Breathe in.
I've always been breathing.
Breathe in. Breathe out.
Stop making it look as if you care about me, please.
Exhale.
I don't need all of that.
Oh, my love, I care about you.
Thanks.
Inhale.
Thanks.
Exhale.
It's time for you to
it's
go.
Not time.
It's time for you to go. Let me have my favorite John.
I have not said anything.
Let me have my favorite John right here.
No.
At least he will be able to see beyond, the surface and give me the intricate details. He will be able to give me a proper perspective as to what happened on Saturday.
Be graceful.
It's not about being graceful here. Let's be realistic. What are we graceful for? What are we being graceful for? We already shared the grace yesterday. There's nothing to be graceful for here. Thank you very much. You can go. It's time for Rapid Sports. Let's have Kami and John to probably give us a perspective
I will not end this.
Issues.
I'll be back on this again. Because you don't allow me to speak.
Okay, what do you want to speak to in this matter now?
Okay. What I want to say on a serious note is, last week, I sat on this chair and I promised you that Chelsea will not make it.
It's not about that. It's not about that. It's not about who made it. Okay, now that you have made it, are you going to win it?
Oga, the talk was not about who will win it. That was not what we said last week.
It's not about making it.
We said who will make it to the next round.
In the scheme of things, in the scale of I would prefer not to make it to the final than to get there and get beaten again by the same team. Man City beat Man U last season in the FA Cup final. They're about to do it again.
Oh my God!
About again, back to back.
God. He pay you. He pay you.
Why will he pay me?
Oga.
Am I the owner of Chelsea? Do I have any stake in Chelsea?
Don't worry. I'll do something
Do I have any of the players who are related to me?
I'll do something.
Are they paying me any stipend?
Allow me finish that.
I am not in any way even affiliated to the said organization. Why will he pay me? So, guys.
Oh my God, it's time for sport.
Yes. Thanks. Promise Awonsami had put the host up immediately after the restart, leaving Sunshine Stars just a place above the relegation zone. It's not looking very good for Sunshine Stars and Kennedy Boboye. A goal in each half by Alex Owoya and Deputy Echeta also condemned the Rangers to their 9th defeat of the season against Rivers United. In Kano, 43-year-old Kano Pillars midfielder Rabiu Ali, well, he continued to lead the charge on their top flight return, scoring a brace for his 7th and 8th goal of the season in their 4-0 win over Gombe United. It was a Northern affair. Mustafa Yuga opened the scoring for Pillars inside 10 minutes, while Ali added the 2nd and the 3rd before halftime. And of course, Mustafa Umar completed the route in the 79th minute. At the Mohamedou Diko Stadium in Castina, it was Abdullahi Bifo beginning his reign as head coach of Sporting Lagos on a losing note, crashing to a 2-0 defeat to his former club, Castina United. Andrew Idoko got the first goal for Castina United in the 36th minute, while the consistent Michael Ibe made it 2 in the 65th minute to leave Lagos side 13th on the table and 2 points above safety. Well, meanwhile, 2021 champions Aqua United struggle in the red zone continued on Sunday as the late school from Emmanuel Obole condemned them to their 15th defeat of the season, leaving them deep in the relegation zone in 18th place with just 29 points. The table should have been up on your screen right about now. Well, in other results, 5th place Remo Stars are still 4 points adrift of leaders Rangers after suffering a 1-0 defeat at the hands of Plateau United. Niger Tornadoes returned to winning ways with a 2-0 thrashing of Doma United, while Obi Stars and Bendel Insurance settled for a goalless draw in Lafia. And those were the results from over the weekend in the Nigeria Premier League. Well, it gets more interesting with Rangers, Lobby Stars and Enyimba all striving to get their hands on the title. Of course, Enyimba defending champions of the league this season. We'll see exactly how things are going to pan out in the remaining matches of the season. Well, let's move away from Nigeria now to England. And of course, Manchester United recovered from an astonishing collapse to beat Coventry City on penalties in an FA Cup Classic on Sunday, setting up a second straight final against Manchester City. Erin Ten Hag's men won the shootout at Wembley 4-2 with Rasmus Højlund scoring the decisive sport kick after the teams were level at 3-3 following extra time. The game perfectly encapsulated a chaotic season for Ten Hag's men, who were well off at the pace in the Premier League. Well, there was no hint of what was to come when United coasted into a 3-0 lead courtesy of Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire, and of course Scott McTominay. But guess what? In the second half, well, they fumbled like a pack of cards, I'd like to say, in their usual manner. And before you could say Jack, a 3-1 and of course 3-2, and just before the end of regulation time, it was 3-3. Second half strikes from Ellis Sims and Callum O'Hare gave the 1987 FA Cup winners hope, and Haj Wright leveled from the penalty spot deep into stoppage time, capping a scarcely credible comeback. Coventry fans taunted Ten Hag with chance of "you are getting sacked" in the morning, as belief infused the massed ranks of supporters clad in light blue. Well, it was absolutely intriguing well, to see that happen. It went into the gamble and lottery of penalties, and of course it was that young man Rasmus Højlund who played the spinal sport kick to send United through to the final, where once again they are going to be up against the rampaging and the fascinating Manchester City, who got the better of Chelsea by 1-0 on Saturday. The man who scored a decisive goal was that diminutive pocket-sized disaster winger from Portugal, talking about the young man Bernardo Silva in the second half of that particular game in the after the 80th minute. Well, it was a match that Chelsea had a lot of chances. Had Nicholas Jackson with a flurry of chances to have put Chelsea ahead, at least 3 clear-cut chances where Chelsea could have taken the lead in that particular match. But you could see the glaring inexperience, the lack of hunger for glory in that Chelsea side. It was a really disappointing game for Mauricio Pochettino, because, I mean, coming in as coach of Chelsea, he said he wanted to win the Carling Cup, where, of course, he's been defeated in the final by Liverpool. He said he wanted to win the Premier League. He is Chelsea's 9th at the moment. Lots of points adrift, not even assured of a place in Europe next season, talk more of winning the league. And in just the last competition that he had the opportunity to make a difference, talking about the FA Cup. Well, he fell like a pack of cards to the amazing Manchester City, who were not even so fantastic on the day. Well, you have to understand that they just played 120 minutes of football against one of the finest sides globally as far as football is concerned, Real Madrid, in the Champions League. Only a couple of days later to play a refreshed Chelsea just a couple of days after. Pep Guardiola was not happy about that. He says his players are being stressed. I mean, they are exhausted. They are being made to play even when they are obviously tired. Well, he spoke about the passion of the team and all of that, but then again, he says these players are being stressed, and of course, he's talking about how that if the press wants anything from him, he's not going to give anything to the press. Well, that tells you a frustrated manager, a manager who is not really happy with the achievements of his team this season. Last season, it was Manchester City winning a treble. This particular season, what we're seeing is that they've been knocked out of the semi-finals in the Champions League. Well, they still have a chance in the English Premier League, and of course, right now they are in the final of the FA Cup. So the possibility of a double is still very much there for Pep Guardiola and his lads. Fantastic football, you know, that they play, but then again, Chelsea faltering like a pack of cards there and not able to deliver the goods. Well, we had a couple of matches in the English Premier League, and of course, we had the duo of Arsenal and Liverpool playing and winning their respective matches. Well, talking about Arsenal, it was Arsenal up against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Well, you know how a match like that would always be full of drama and lots of occurrences and breathtaking action. But what we saw was Arsenal getting the better of Wolves by 2 goals to nothing. Leandro Trossard, well, I love the mentality that young man comes to play with. He gets into a game and like he plays with the mentality of footballers of old. He's not interested in the drama, the theatrics of the camera, or trying to look good. He comes in, he's not interested in smiling and shining teeth with anybody. Comes in, does his job, and gets off the pitch. So we saw Leandro Trossard opening scoring in the 45th minute in the first half, and of course, Captain Fantastic Martin Odegaard making sure that the job was done and done beautifully well by capping it off with that beautiful goal in the 95th minute of that particular game. So it's Arsenal 2 and Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. And of course, the courtesy of that, Arsenal are now top on the table with 74 points, same as Liverpool, who also won on the day 3-1 against Fulham. And of course, Liverpool have recorded their longest winning streak away from home. Diogo Jota with yet another fantastic goal for Liverpool. And of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold with that beauty of a free kick in the first half of that particular match. Absolutely beautiful to see Liverpool back again to perennial and ferocious scoring form. 3-1 it ended at Craven Cottage between Fulham and Liverpool. And we saw Burnley getting the better of Sheffield United by 4 goals to 1. Brentford brushed aside their opponents Luton, not by 1, not by 2, not by 3, not by 4, but by 5 goals to 1 in that 6-goal thriller earlier on Saturday. Everton, in their relegation battle, well, it was a relegation battle between Everton and Forest, and so it ended 2-0 in favor of Everton. We also saw Crystal Palace. It was a 7-goal thriller as Selhurst Park, the likes of Michael Olise, Berechi Eze, all on the score sheet for Crystal Palace. The Eagles in a 5-2 win over West Ham United. Disappointing result there for the Hammers. Aston Villa got the better of Bournemouth by 3 goals to 1. And of course, matches will continue later on tomorrow when Arsenal take on Chelsea. Well, there's a lot to look forward to with regards to that particular match. It's one of those matches that Arsenal have this season that, of course, does present a lot of challenge in their race to win the Premier League title. And of course, that's all we can take from England at the moment. And let's talk about one of the biggest football matches that everyone watches out for. It was the El Clasico yesterday. Barcelona against Real Madrid in the Spanish Primera Liga. And of course, Real Madrid, Real Madrid, the White Angels, the Los Galácticos in frenetic fashion there. Jude Bellingham scoring in back-to-back Clasico match. Nothing. And we saw action as well in the German Bundesliga. At this point, it is safe to say that Bayer Leverkusen are using Jazz. I don't know the Baba that did the Jazz for them, but the Baba is too good. Is absolutely too good. But guess what? Bayer Leverkusen with a 1-1 draw against Borussia Dortmund. And I can imagine that match was important for Borussia Dortmund to win, because last season they had an opportunity to win the Bundesliga, but unfortunately it was taken away from them on the very last day of the Bundesliga by Bayern Munich. So they had a chance of probably making a statement to say, look guys, the race that we, or the run or the form that we had last season was no fluke. We should have won the league, and so let's try to put a dent in this record of Bayer Leverkusen. But ladies and gentlemen, what we have is that so far Bayer Leverkusen have played 45 matches this season, and they are yet to lose any game, and they always leave it to the very last minute to do the damage, because of course tell me how that in the past 10 or so matches they always wait for the 90th minute to do the damage. Victor Boniface of course in action in that particular one. In some of the matches that were played over the Bundesliga, we saw Leipzig winning Hoffenheim by 2-1. They had to come from behind to do that one. Harry Kane was on the score sheet, Matistel as well as other Bavarians in a 5-1 routing of Union Berlin. Bremen got the better of Stuttgart by 2-1. Of course, we saw Wolfsburg getting better of Bochum by 1-0 in the French Ligue 1. Paris Saint-Germain was in fantastic form yesterday when they beat Olympique Lyon by 4-1. Well, it was a really interesting match to see. All of them goals came in the first half of that game through Goncalo Ramos, who scored twice, Lucas Berardi, and of course Nemanja Matic with an own goal there for Olympique Lyon. It ended 4-1, and of course it's safe to say that the title is already going to be resting in Paris. We have just a couple of games before the end of the season, less than 10 games to go, and Paris Saint-Germain with 66 points ahead of their closest rivals, talking about AS Monaco, who got the better of Brest by 2-0, and that was exactly how it panned out in the French Ligue 1 yesterday. We also saw action involving Lille, Nice, and of course Rennes in that particular one. Well, the season gets even more traumatic for Victor Osimhen and Napoli fans, because tell me why Napoli was unable to score against an Empoli side who, of course, got into the lead in the first 10 minutes of that game, and that was exactly how it ended. 1-0 in favor of Empoli against a much favored Napoli side earlier on Saturday. Lazio defeated Genoa by 1-0. We saw Lecce defeating Sassuolo by 3-0. Fiorentina got the better of Salernitana by 2-0, and of course we had Ademola Lookman assisting twice in a 2-1 victory for Atlanta against AC Monza. Roma play Bologna today, and of course it's going to be the battle at San Siro. Inter Milan up against AC Milan. Well, it's the Derby Italiano, and we'll see how that is all going to pan out by 7:45 Nigerian time. And those were some of the results from the key leagues in Europe. And before we round up this morning is the news involving Samson Iyebowe Siasia, who of course was once a coach of the Super Eagles. The whole conversation about who is going to take over the helm of affairs with regards to the Eagles, the coaching the Super Eagles, has been on. Some people are saying, there are speculations that there are 3 shortlisted names who are foreign nationals that may be taking over as coach of the Super Eagles, but we do not know who they are. We do not have any inkling as to who might be getting the nod in terms of foreign expatriates that NFF have contacted for the job of the Super Eagles. And we are also hearing that there is the possibility of having either a Finidi George or an Emmanuel Amunike. But so far so good, these speculations favor the possibility of an Emmanuel Amunike taking over as coach of the Super Eagles. Now, we've seen Finidi George handle the team in interim basis after the departure of Jose Peseiro. I wouldn't know what you would make of his performance in the 2 friendlies that we played against Mali and against Ghana. Do you think he has the mettle? Do you think he has what it takes to be the coach of the Super Eagles? Well, Samson Siasia, who once was a coach of the Super Eagles, has weighed into the conversation by saying that there's a big disparity between local and foreign coaches, saying that Nigerian Football Federation favored the white coaches ahead of their Nigerian counterparts, and citing a situation where, of course, the foreign nationals are paid thousands of dollars, while the local coaches do not get as much remuneration from the Football Federation. Well, all of that is the conversation that we would have tomorrow when I would have John right here in the studio. But then again, this is where the cookie will crumble on this morning's edition of the show. Thank you so much for being a part of it. He who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. Well, the breakfast show continues with Eastern Circle.
My name is Akio Sakido.
Hey guys, this is Anto Lecky.
My name is Leo Bliss.
My name is Akava. I go by the name Baba D.
And you're tuned into Rapid TV.
And I love Rapid TV.
Shout out Rapid TV. Thank you, Rapid TV. Please keep watching
Rapid TV.
This is Rapid TV.
Rapid
TV.
Keep watching.
Keep it move down.
Leave it like that.
I think it's better. All right, let's kickstart the conversation. Someone watching, I mean, this is not as popular as World Malaria Day or any other world observance. So the average Nigerian who is watching is asking, why should I be concerned about the World Earth Day? Would you like to give us your thoughts on that? Aisha, we don't seem to be hearing you at the moment.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
It's much better. Go ahead.
Much better. Right. So I was talking about why we should be concerned about celebrating and commemorating World Earth Day. So fun fact, Nigeria actually produces about 2.5 million tons of plastic every year. Where does this waste end up? It's in our waterways, it's in our landfills, it's up in drainages, causing all forms of havoc. And we don't have any sustainable means of actually sustain. They have where they produce their feed is sustainable. The second is actually putting in policies in the question. I know you don't have to answer this now. Rapid TV, do you have a sustainable sort of like a plastic management? So this is the way that we all can actually show concern. If we don't have a national policy on a national scale. Sorry, you mentioned something?
Yeah, I heard a few of the things that you said regarding agriculture, and the truth of the matter is that we're having a little bit of an issue with the audio. So we will get back to you in just a moment while we try to get that sorted.
All right. We're able to hear her. It's very, very faint. And if we're not able to hear, then I think the audience will not be able to hear. I don't know. We can go on a very tiny 1-minute break to see if that could be sorted. And then we'll come back and we'll get back to the conversation very briefly. All right, welcome back. We're going to have Aisha back on a line right now so we could talk briefly and then wrap up the conversation on the World Earth Day. Hello, Aisha, are you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I think it's a bit, I hope it remains that way. So you were telling us about some of the benefits and some of the things that you mentioned Nigeria being responsible of about millions of cans, and we don't have a record of what these cans are used for. Are they being disposed well? Are they, what's the word now? Are they recycled into, because I know in other countries there's a place for recycling. Do we have anything of such here in Nigeria? And looking at today being the World Earth Day, is there anything in particular the government is doing to see how? Because, I mean, we are beginning to experience a couple of natural disasters in Nigeria, just even though it's in pockets, you know. So could this be as a result of human activities? I would like to put it that way.
Thank you. So 2.5 million tons of plastic waste. Don't necessarily cans, but plastic waste. And like I said, we do not have any form of coordinated waste management system, plastic waste management, because organic waste is mixed in with plastic waste. There's no form of sorting it, not to talk of recycling or upcycling or reusing. So what I would do, and I know we're short of time, is quickly sort of go over 3 different activities that we can do, both in the private sector and public sector, in order to help solve this situation. And it's also a form of a charge for your listeners. So one is really around programming. So whether it is private sector or public sector government, all our programs have to have a sustainability and recycling element. I was mentioning earlier, and I will not go deep into that, about all the programs that we run in Sahel Consulting, having to have a sustainability element. Reusing, making sure that you're not using single waste plastics, making sure that your form of energy is sustainable and renewable, essentially. And I was also putting it in there that does Rapid TV as an organization have a waste management or plastic sustainability policy? So now these are the ways that we as individuals, not necessarily the government, can actually begin to make differences within our sphere. That's one. 2 is around advocating. In the video you showed, it showed that one of the most active participants, and that is absolutely true. So what we're doing at Sahel Consulting, and working with primary and secondary schools, government schools, to make sure that they understand the value of planting trees and nurturing the environment. And as we're doing that, there are environmental and science clubs in schools that are actually nurturing and taking care of those trees. These are not just ornamental trees, but also edible trees. And this is how that nature and man relationship can be further pushed. But what the government can do currently, Nigeria has no national policy on plastic waste management. Environmental activists, that we have to work together. We have to come so that we can be able to push. There is a bill that is lounging somewhere, and I think that conversation needs to be kickstarted. We are disproportionately affected by climate change, and the fact that single-use plastics are clogging our waterways and being burnt and creating health issues, we cannot afford.
All right, let me try to get your answer to this in 30 seconds because our time is up. The year's theme for this World's Earth Day is the planet versus plastics, and there's a demand for a 60% reduction in the production of plastics by 2040, and then ultimately the goal of building a plastic-free future for generations to come. So very quickly, do you think this is possible?
Absolutely possible. Where there is a political will to have a backing of the policymakers and the implementers of that policy, where there is a private sector that is willing to actually push for alternatives, where there is an aware society that understands the dangers of the plastic.
All right, thank you so much, Aisha Hadejia, for coming in to speak to this in short notice. Thank you immensely. All right. Interesting conversation. I mean, there's a role for everyone, organizations and individuals. I mean, at our different levels. The plastics that you use, how do you dispose of them? Do you walk on the road and just throw them around? What happens is that they get into gutters, they block drainages, and before you know it, we start having issues regarding flooding, and you know, the environment basically suffers.
Yeah, I mean, due to time, we're unable to talk much about. I mean, the World Earth Day is not only about plastic. We also have tree felling. We have pollution, air pollution, and a whole lot more.
The focus for this year is on plastics.
Every time we talk about plastic, almost every year, they talk about plastic.
Last year, I think the theme was on tree planting. There was a lot of advocacy around that. How many people have planted trees? How many people remember to plant trees, or to remember there's a space for that when you're doing your building plan or whatever it is? You know, these are all the conversations we need to have.
Anyway, we'll go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll move on to something else this morning. Okay, welcome back. Let's now move on to some more cheerful stars. Ooh, I call it cheerful. Oh, not cheerful. Let's move on to some more bass blues.
There was a lot of it over the weekend. Plenty interesting unfolding drama, as it were.
Okay, so let's start with Dubai, first of all. We are not ignorant of what is going on in Dubai, talking about the, I don't want to call it flooding.
What are you going to call it?
I want to call it the generosity of water. Yes. Now, did you know that if you are in Dubai, you live in Dubai, or you are a citizen, you are not allowed to share anything negative. That is the Dubai law. You are not allowed to share anything negative, anything that defaces, anything that is negative to the country. You are not allowed to share. And so it was a pitiable state for some persons that were actually living in Dubai and sharing videos and photos of the flood going on in Dubai. And I just felt like it just shows how ignorant some persons could be. You live in a place and you don't even know the laws of the land. That is very, very terrible. If you have to stay in a place, the first thing you must do is to know the laws, the do's, the don'ts, so you don't get yourself hooked into something that you cannot solve. And so there's actually a fine for people, or serving about 3 to 6 months if you are found posting, sharing, and it's as bad as even commenting or liking anything, any content in the public that speaks negative or not a good thing. Now, don't forget that our guest sometime last week, I think it was Khalifa also, said something about some other countries where they don't share the negative things that happen in the country. But here in Nigeria, we just do that with reckless abandon. So now there is a video that, I mean, people who are there shared the video, and we got hold of the video. Now, so the flooding is going on, and it's been...
So there's no fine for us for playing the video?
Come on. So the flooding issue, and these guys are making lemonades out of their lemons. So the water is used, just let's check out this video, how they are being able to create fun out of it. They've turned it to... So you don't have to go to the beach to do this. You don't have to go to anywhere else. Just, I mean, by your street, you have all you need, the water you need to have this fun. Now, this is not funny, but I mean,
it's an interesting way to paint the situation. You know, when things like this happen, we were just having a conversation about World Earth Day. All of this are like consequences of when we don't do what we're supposed to do, and we hurt the environment, you know. But look at them turning the situation around, kids playing adults part of it as well. Can this happen in Nigeria? Yes.
Of course, it can happen in Nigeria. It's just that most times these things, we are seeing it and we're liking the image or the video rather, but it's not as funny as, or not as pleasant as we see it. I mean, when it started, I think sometime last week when this news of the flooding started, it was messy. You could see cars were being sucked in, some people, houses and the rest, and I felt so bad for these people, and I felt really, really bad to see Nigerians making videos and posting this thing, and you live there. So, I mean, you're not supposed to do that.
It could also be an issue of, oh, we see it back home, so now that we see it, let's also do what we normally do, because usually when there's the issue of flooding, people bring out their phones and then they capture videos and then they post on social media to say, this was my house before, or my house used to be here, but it's now covered with water. And the truth of the matter is that it's actually not a pleasant situation. It's nothing to laugh about.
It is not.
Last year when we had the flooding situation in some parts of the country, it was really terrible. I remember it came to a point where we're getting reports that for certain routes, for people who have to go from Abuja to some parts of the east,
they couldn't move.
Yeah, the roads were blocked.
Yes.
We were hearing things. I mean, people who produce stuff in the farm, they were not able to transport their produce, and what that did was that it increased, the price of those commodities in the markets. Transportation had to go up because the drivers now had to find alternative routes to take travelers, to their destination. So in the long run, it has a ripple. People were sacked from their homes. We talk about the emotional and psychological effect of that. Some of them, it's their own houses. It's not that they are paying rent. Imagine being chased out of your house, because of a natural occurrence, and then you have nowhere to go. So it's not something to laugh or cheer about, but look at them making fun out of it. But then again, I think that the Nigerian Meteorological Agency and other agencies who are concerned with things that have to do with the environment, by now, I believe that there should be plans or measures in place to manage situations like that when it does happen again. Because, I mean, there's been predictions that this year again, we're going to have a really, really, really heavy rainy season. So are there plans in place? Are there measures in place to help curtail the effects of a disaster like that when it eventually does break out? I think they should.
Or when the dam is open.
We also had that situation last year.
It's a matter of, I think it's Motivational Monday. So I mean, just look at that video and tell yourself, I am going to make lemonades out of lemons.
Life might try to drown me,
but I'm gonna use it as.
I was soar regardless.
Come on. I mean, you may not know how to do it, but just get yourself one of these and you'll be able to.
I mean, with a plank and something that looks like, what's that thing again? I've forgotten the name.
Oh, the paddle.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just, but I'm not praying for that to happen, okay? No one is praying for that to happen.
So they should get a paddle through life.
Well,
they should get a kid.
Was it Martin Luther King Jr. who said that whether you're walking, you're running, or crawling, that no matter what you do, make sure you're moving.
Just keep moving.
So, yeah.
Okay, so it's 9:36. Now, you should know something. This is a conversation that many people do not like to have. I was thinking we're going to leave this conversation until maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, but we'll probably get a guest who's going to talk about this. But this is the situation in the gospel music circle. It is one thing that many people don't want to talk about, and when we see management in the secular music world, like the different labels we have, we saw the issue with Kiss Daniel the first time before he had to change his name from Kiss to Keys. We've seen that issue. Different guys have come out to say, oh, their record label, their management team, and the likes. And sometimes it come out so messy. But when it comes to the gospel music, we all just like to lift up holy hands, clap to the Lord and shout, Jehovah, you're good. And, you know, cover up things because, I mean, it's the body of Christ, right?
It's a spirit thing. Let's not be carnal.
Okay, but business is business. Talent is being put in. Hard work is being put in.
Do these ministers understand that music is a business? Because when you talk to a lot of gospel ministers, even some of them who are upcoming, they tell you, oh, this is something I'm doing for the kingdom. This is
really?
This is a spirit thing. There's nothing carnal about it.
Not so anymore.
It's not about the money. It's all about reaching out to souls. It's all about making impact. It's all about doing this for God. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, these guys don't know what they're talking about because obviously they do not know what a gold mine music is.
No, I think many of them do know now, and
they do not.
And the truth is,
they do not. And because we are greedy people naturally. Everyone, you know. If you knew that something was profitable, you would do everything that you can to milk whatever profits that you can. But
I don't think so.
A lot of them do not know.
No, I don't think so.
Because certain ministers make it look like, oh, we're just doing this for the kingdom. There's even no gain in this thing. That's how a lot of them make it. Some of the big names, some of the big stars, that's how they make it look. So the young ones who are coming up also parry to that mentality that, oh, there's no money in this. So let's just go with it.
I would disagree a bit, but first of all, Dr. Roy granted an interview on a podcast, and he did. Now, let me remind you that the issues that Dr. Roy mentioned in this podcast we're about to play to you that was released, snippet were released yesterday, and the full one is going to be dropping sometime in the week, not exactly sure. But now, he raised some issues. The reason why we're talking about this on the show this morning is because some persons had a misunderstanding and thought that he was referring to Mercy Chinwo, right? Saying that she didn't help him when his dad had stroke and the rest of them. But he wasn't referring to Mercy Chinwo. He was referring to the
record
label. That was who he was referring to, not Mercy Chinwo. Do not forget that when news broke out that Mercy Chinwo had left her record label, and there were so many controversies regarding that. In
fact, there was one of our concerts where she tried to say something in respect to that. And what happened was that when the video was put out, she actually had a lot of backlash. People started saying things about, oh, why must you be ungrateful? And, you know, you see very sanctimonious people saying, this is a church thing. This is a kingdom thing. Let's not make it open to the people of the world. And they actually shut her down.
Mercy wasn't ungrateful.
I'm glad. That was the backlash that she got. I'm glad that somebody who was also in the record label, because Dr. Roy's story, what is done now is to give credence to the fact that, oh, whatever Mercy was saying was not just out of the fact that she just wanted to trend, or that she just wanted to cause trouble, or that she was ungrateful like some people were insinuating. Now there's someone else who is saying, look guys, I also passed through the same thing. And there's an adage in our place that I mean, once a child is pointing to a particular place, it's that the father or the mother is there. And I mean, when more than one person has come out to say this issue, then we should begin to look at what even happened here. So let's look at that video and then we'll be right back.
Me and Mercy Chinwo, we dey sleep 5 a.m. Wake up by 7 a.m. Start working again till 5 a.m. Back to back. All my hope now be say that time they tell me say after the work on Mercy project, I dey get some kind millions, I dey get some kind, you know, you dey happy say you dey work, say the also way they put in, you go pay.
He don't do. He's okay, my brother. He's okay. Calm down. Calm down.
You know what TB for you to don't put in work. You dey expect say with this work, everybody for your family could do all right. All this time now, all this thing they happen. Mercy, SS Love, don't they peak.
You produce Excess Love. You produce Boy Kondo. You produce. I beg, give me a list of the songs.
Omeka Naya.
Omeka Naya.
You bless me on a regular. Receive it is your inheritance. Christ, you're an incredible.
I go on a date with.
Okay, he mentioned a list of songs.
Yeah.
You know. Now, I want to speak to, because the truth is, while this was referred to Derek Olebe, and we all know Derek Olebe, Easy Concept. There's so many questions that Easy Concept would have to answer, actually. And I would say one thing. Unfortunately, Easy Concept will not be the only person that is going to be having questions to answer. I'm sorry to say this, but he will not be the only person when it comes to the gospel music. Our favorite, I do not want to break tables on the show this morning. Eh?
Let me check.
I do not want to break tables. Let me check how
strong this one is.
I do not want to call names, because why this particular issue is of interest, because about 2 years ago, I did a report on this. And there were so many things that we discovered regarding what is going on in the gospel music and how these artists are being ripped off. And that is why we're going to be having a guest, maybe tomorrow or next tomorrow, to have an extensive conversation on this. It would shock you to know that many of our gospel songs, when they are released, the producers are not even acknowledged in these works. So, unlike our brothers in the secular music, at least when you check the work, you're going to see producer, executive producer, you would see if it's a video, director, and the likes. But in our gospel music, most times you struggle to even know who produced the song. You would only know that this is for example, Easy Concept, or what's this other one's name again? Spotlight, and the rest of them. You don't get to really see the producers of these songs.
In all of these songs, I think half of them that he mentioned Dr. Roy.
Dr. Roy. Now, but the problem now is, what kind of agreement do you sign?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to get there.
Do you know that many of these guys don't even have a written document? So, it is a conversation that when we start, your favorites are on the table. And I will not be surprised if an Ebuka songs come tomorrow to complain of something like this. I will not be surprised if a Ninja or a Son comes out tomorrow to complain of something like this. I will not be surprised if some of your favorite, and there's some other gospel artists that escaped this. For example, Prosper escaped this. If not, we probably have been hearing his own. What's this? It was when Mercy Chinwo's issues happened, that was when Easy paid every other person that was around, because they discovered that they were not even getting royalties. So it is that bad. So if we say we are in the body of Christ, if we say we are a religious music, then we should be acting like what the dictates of this faith.
So it is that expectation that people would be as honorable, as noble as the Bible advises you to be. You know, the Bible would say, if you tell a man that you would come tomorrow, that you would do it, do what you said that you were going to do.
Yes.
Be a man of your word. There's a place in the Bible that talks about that. Honesty in business, integrity in business.
Absolutely.
So people expect that they would act in that way. But then again, we're all human beings. The dynamics in this whole gospel business is a bit different. I'm sure if this was in the secular world, the record label that's been called out would have been doing everything possible to do damage control, to the point that you might even begin to see tapes flying here and there. Do you get? But I mean, this is gospel, so there's some sort of what's the word now? Decorum. But I expect that Easy, should have an official response to this, to say, okay, this and this are the things that happen. But very, very important. The issue you mentioned about some artists not even having a signed contract.
Some of them don't have an agreement.
This is a business.
The producers don't even have.
It's not a function of, hello, Cynthia, where are you? Oh, we'll have a concert in Australia. And then you just pack your bags and you go. And then you do this over and over. Oh, hello, where are you? I want to record a song. You just come, and then you just basically give these people your life, your time, your resources, your skills, and your talents. And then you come out 2-3 years to cry. What was the agreement?
Okay, so presently there is one of the gospel artists who discovered that he was being ripped off. We're not going to mention names. When our guests come, he'll be able to mention the names by himself. Now, one of them discovered that he's in one of our favorite label and discovered that he's been ripped off. But then, the moment when he was signed, you know, findings has it that he was given a certain amount of millions. He didn't know what he was accepting to. Some gifts were also given to him. But then, when he dropped a particular song, which many of us love, and then he thought that, okay, looking at how well this song has done, he would have a lot of money. And then he went back to check his earnings and saw how much he has. I think it was about some thousands of dollars. But the money was paid to the boss.
Yeah.
And so that was when it dawned on him that, wow, what is happening? But he couldn't say much. He just had to complain to, and that was how we got to hear about it. Now, in complaining, what can he do? Because, like you said,
so what
body of Christ.
What stopped him from confronting whoever, you know, got him to do the job in the first place?
You are going... Now,
ask your questions now. Oh, God, I did a song for you. I'm looking at how much this song is making. And what's happening? What's my own cut inside?
No. This particular song, mind you, he dropped it before he got signed officially. Get it straight.
You know, this is why it's a business. And before you go into a business, you must be able to do your research. DYO, like they say. This same easy concept, I don't know if it's the same person that you're talking about. There was an issue, I think it was late last year. I'm trying to remember these guys. There was a Daniel, very young guy, you know, who broke into the gospel scene. And then the next thing we heard was that he was being signed by Easy Concept. And then a couple of months later, that they were having issues. There was one time that he came out to make certain revelations. And then, of course, church people came for him. Oh, who were you before Easy Concept discovered you and made you who you are? You don't have any rights to speak against. You should have settled this internally. And the guy brought down the post that he made. But then there's only a limit to what you can take as a human being. Apparently, whatever issues that he had raised at the first time kept reoccurring. And then he officially came out to announce that he was walking away from the label. And then Easy's response to that was that, oh, we brought your family from, was it Delta or something, to Lagos. We gave you this, we gave you that. And what was the agreement? Okay, so there are allegations, which these are some of the things that hopefully we're able to get through to Easy Concepts. If he's willing to have a conversation, why not? We would try to have him to see, even if it doesn't happen live on the show, if we can have maybe an interview or something with him, it will be also great, because there are allegations that whenever someone confronts Easy Concept and he's not happy with it, he immediately sacks you off and then probably sends a certain amount of money to your account just for you not to talk about it. These are allegations which he needs to clear. It doesn't bode well for the gospel music industry, because, I mean, what a lot of gospel artists do not know is that they can thrive a lot on collaboration and actually, you know, milking the resources and music itself, you know. But this is why secular music is at the point where it is, and then gospel music is also at the point where it is. We're not even going to go into the dynamics of, oh, when a lot of people put out songs, it's very generic. You have a lot of, I mean, it's the same thing we've been hearing, but with with a little bit more work into the business aspect of it and collaborations, these guys could actually do more. These guys can achieve more, but nobody is talking about it. And that's because they don't see it as a business. They see that we are doing the work of God. Yes, it's the work of God.
They actually do see the business. It is those people that they are under. These mistakes happen in the secular music and also
remember, Easy, apart from, I mean, after Messi left, he still has some big names under him. Judy K is still there. There's a GUC. Even Chidinma is still part of the label the last time I checked. So, I mean, does it mean that these people are comfortable with whatever mistreatments that is now being insinuated by Messi and Dr. Roy? Are they comfortable with it? Were they parties to it?
They are not.
These are the questions Easy needs to come and answer.
Well, we would leave that part for our guest to talk about when he comes on the show. But that is the much we can, actually dish out this particular morning. It has been great time being with you guys. We planned so many things for you today, but sometimes the time always runs so fast, and before you know it, we have to run away from here. But thank you for staying with us. Thank you for welcoming us into your space from 7 o'clock till this time. I did have fun being here. Don't forget that you can follow us on all of our social media platforms and, of course, our YouTube page. Now, we would be wrapping up the show this morning by showing you the talent show that is going on in Umuahia presently.
It's called Star Rise Audition, and it's been put together by Rapid FM, the radio expression of Rapid Broadcast Network, and interesting. Actually quite interesting. Let's allow you to see things for yourself.
Very briefly, and then we run out.
There are memories that cannot be erased. There are moments that cannot be forgotten. So when you are creating memories, just create the right one. Create the right one. When you are living the moment, just live the right way. Live the right way. Oh, 'cause nobody knows where your past will come calling.
It's a red card for me. It's a no. It's a no from me.
It's also a no for me.
It's a no. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. You couldn't make it. Thank you very much.
To bear my burden, an empty grave is there to prove my Jesus lives. Because I know, He holds my future. My life is worth living just because He lives.
But you did Roberto no for me.
Today, yes, I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to give you a yellow card.
Okay.
So that got me like, wait a minute.
You're not supposed to be laughing. You're supposed to encourage these guys.
Oh my God.
You know that it just reminded me of I don't want to go there.
Please don't go there.
I want to go there.
Please don't go there. But I mean, auditions like this, you're going to see everything. And look, guys, this is why I said you should go follow us on our YouTube channel, because if you do, you would get notifications. Of course, when you on your notification, you get notifications of when they go live for the auditions, so you can follow all of the action.
And our Facebook as well.
That's where it's all happening. This is only a snippet. And I mean, this is not all there is. We have a couple of very
great ones.
Phenomenal performances by some of the talents right there.
Okay, so I mean, I think we'll play this another one again tomorrow.
Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah, we'll have
it's a relief tonic. So we will see you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early. I would like to tell you,
Where
don't
Cynthia would be singing for us.
Oh, don't worry, I'll win the money. I will win the prize money. Don't go there. Don't even go there. All right, so 10 o'clock, another program comes up, but we have to run out of here. My name is Cynthia Agba. I love you guys. I love you. I love you. Please, for me, stay alive.
Ugochukwu Madimir is my name. Adios.